What's up, everybody? Rene Rodriguez with the Long Story Longer podcast, and we've got a quick spoiler-free movie review. And I'm here with my son Ryan. What's up, Ryan?
What's up?
So, Ryan and I recently saw the new SuperGirl movie, right?
Yeah.
And so online, everywhere you look, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere pretty much. At first, initially, we saw people talking smack about the movie.
Mhm.
People were saying stuff like, well, to begin with, that the movie was terrible, is what they were saying.
Yeah.
Also, that she doesn't look like Supergirl is what a lot of people were saying, right?
Mhm.
Um, they were talking about Jason Momoa's Lobo character, that he wasn't in the movie enough. And we're going to address all this stuff here in a bit. And a lot of people were also saying that they didn't think um, the bad guy was as in depth of a character as he could have been. A bunch of crazy shit. But Ryan and I both saw it, and we both happened to enjoy it, huh, boy?
Yeah.
So, having said what I just said, um, what did you feel about Supergirl herself, Ryan? What did you think about her?
She was a pretty good character. They did change it from the comics, but I feel like it made the movie a little bit better.
It was a good movie, man. It's as far as how she's playing Supergirl, she's vulnerable.
Yeah.
She's vulnerable. She's a kick-ass character, and we all know she can kick ass. But she's underneath a red sun,
Mhm.
because that's what's going to keep her vulnerable, kind of human, not as strong as she needs to be. But she's that's part of the story. She doesn't want to be strong. She wants to be under the influence of alcohol because she wants to get drunk and forget about her woes. Right? She misses her parents. She misses Krypton,
Yeah.
and that's part of the story there too. So that narrative in itself to me was this could have been a run of the mill superhero movie where they kick ass from beginning to end, but there was more depth to her character here. Again, she's mourning Krypton. She's mourning her parents.
Mhm.
Um, as far as like in regards to it being a girl power movie, I didn't feel it was that, which is fine if that's what you're setting out to do. That's fine, but it wasn't that. And I bring that up because with movies like Black Widow
Yeah.
and movies like the Marvels, it's like thrown in your face. This is going to be a girl power movie. This is, and again, cater to everybody. I get it. Make movies for the masses for sure. Um, but this is you go into this movie knowing she's Supergirl, knowing she can kick ass whenever she wants, and then everything that I just mentioned before with the red sun. That's what's keeping her vulnerable and everything. Not that kind of a movie. But yeah, how'd you feel about Lobo?
He was a pretty good character. I did like Jason Momoa as Aquaman, and I like how in the Snyder cut, he was pretty serious more than his own movies. But for Lobo, um, he didn't seem serious because Lobo has almost the power of a god, and he doesn't need to take things serious because he's so strong.
Yeah, he's having fun with the character because that's what the character is.
Mhm.
And I think with yeah, Jason Momoa, I loved him as Aquaman too, but more so in the Snyder cut of the Justice League movie because in his solo movies he was more of a meathead. He was more like you remember in the movies they would throw a little guitar lick every time he'd do something cool,
Yeah.
something kick ass, right? But in the Snyder cut of Justice League, um, he was a bit more serious of a character. He was more in hiding. He didn't want the world or the masses to know who he was, whatever. But as Lobo, yeah, was he born to play that character for sure? And one of the complaints was that he wasn't in the movie enough, in the Supergirl movie enough. But the way I see it, he was in there more than enough. I think if he would have been in the movie any bit more, it would have been a Lobo movie, not a Supergirl movie.
Yeah.
He was there when he needed to be there, and whenever he was there, does he steal the show? Yeah, somewhat to some extent. But all in all, he shows up being a helping hand here and there. Um, he was great as Lobo,
For sure.
and I'm having a hard time thinking of what to say, what not to say, because for the people that haven't seen it yet, I don't want to spoil it for you. And then Krem of the Yellow Hills, the bad guy, complaint online about Krem of the Yellow Hills was that his backstory wasn't strong enough.
Hmm.
How did you feel about Krem?
He's a good bad guy. He's pretty evil. Um,
So with Krem of the Yellow Hills, it wasn't a character I was familiar with at all. But going into the movie, I was like, who the fuck is this, right? But when you watch the movie again, with the complaints being that he wasn't, they didn't express much of a backstory for him or what have you. I didn't think you had to, because a bad guy is a bad guy, evil is evil. We don't need to know everybody's backstory. Um, the point is with Krem of the Yellow Hills is that he was very ahead of the game with everything.
yeah.
He was ahead of the game, and one step ahead of the superheroes, Supergirl and Lobo. Every time they got close to capturing him or kicking his ass, he'd find a way to get out.
I feel like he's evil for sure. He's always one step ahead, and he does find a way to get out, and he's a pretty good villain.
Yeah, he's a very good villain, I think, because again, without him having much of a backstory, a bad guy is a bad guy, and like you said, he's a step ahead of the game. Um, for the most part, throughout the whole movie, every time they think they've got him, or every time they think they can subdue him or whatever, he finds a way to get out, or he finds a way to entrap the
Mhm.
superheroes. Um, so throughout the whole movie, you see that, and I think for a bad guy that I wasn't familiar with, um, I think it was a pretty good villain.
Yeah.
He was a pretty good villain, man. Can't spoil much about him, but I mean the way he looks and everything, he looks like a bad guy.
Yeah.
All that stuff on his face, and he's got a dirty look to him. And again, crazy's crazy, bad is bad, a villain's a villain. That's all you need to know. And it's not like they didn't show you his character throughout the whole movie. I mean, you see how the guy is. He's even got some funny moments here and there, but for the most part, you don't like the guy, and he was a good villain for Supergirl
Yeah.
and for Lobo too. All in all, Ryan, if you're to review the movie, what would you review it?
I will give it an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Me, I'm stuck between a 7.5 out of 10 and an 8 out of 10, somewhere between there, because both you and I left the movie thinking we wouldn't mind watching it again in the
Yeah.
theaters.
Mhm.
And one of the things that Ryan and I were talking about earlier was I am a DC fanboy more than Marvel. I do feel embarrassed looking back at the original release of the Justice League movie, right? And I defended it because I do love DC. The Joss Whedon release, it was terrible, but I defended it.
Mhm.
It was terrible, but I gave it the benefit of the doubt. And similarly with Supergirl, I was telling people, no, give it a chance, whatever. But when I look back at that, and I see how they kind of made a joke about Batman, him getting tossed around and being the butt of the jokes, I don't like that. Ultimately, years later, they released the Snyder Cut, right?
Mhm.
It's what, 3.5 hours long or whatever it is, and the Snyder Cut is amazing compared to Justice League.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it took for me to go, you know what? Yeah, Justice League, the original release is trash. Joss Whedon didn't do it any justice. He put out crap. And again, having said that, this isn't how I'm going to feel about Supergirl years later.
Mhm.
Do you think you'll rewatch Supergirl every so often, or?
For sure. I will.
Yeah, we loved her as Supergirl.
Mhm.
And even her partner, I can't remember her buddy's name that she saves or she helps out throughout the whole movie. She had good character too, and it's a movie worth watching. And again, I think James Gunn is doing a great job.
Mhm.
A lot of people didn't like the Superman movie either, with David Corenswet as Superman. And I get it. We all miss Henry Cavill. We all miss him. And I think they could have done a lot more with Ben Affleck as Batman too.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen that because we've talked about it time and time again. Christopher Nolan with Christian Bale, those are the best Batman movies ever, bar none. But nobody looks a part of Batman as much as Ben Affleck did.
Mhm.
And I would have loved to have seen where that went. But that's not the case. There's rumors that Netflix or Paramount or whatever, they're going to bring back the Snyderverse. If that were to happen, that's pretty fucking cool. But I'm not going to take away from James Gunn's DC movies
For sure.
because I think David Cornswet is a hell of a good Superman.
Yes.
It's looking more like the comics as far as the Superman movies. Um, are they to be taken serious? I mean, for sure as a fan, but for the average viewer, probably not. But that's the fun. I mean, why are you gonna keep on churning out the same superhero movie after another one after another? And I think that's where that's what people don't get with Supergirl is that they're taking it a different route.
Mhm.
They're taking Supergirl a different route, a great story, and ultimately, what I'm trying to express is that give Supergirl a chance.
For sure.
It's not a bad movie at all.
Yeah.
It was hard to watch that movie and leave the movie thinking, what the fuck are the critics talking about?
Mhm.
And it's a breath of fresh air going on YouTube. I mean, not YouTube. Well, even YouTube too, but on Facebook and Instagram and all my social media, going on there in my algorithm right now is a lot of people expressing the same thing. A lot of people saying the same thing about the movie that they don't know what the critics are talking about. It is a great movie, which both you and I feel. And yeah, give it a chance, man. Don't follow the critics. And a bunch of these critics, I, I'm starting to believe they're sold to the pockets of Disney and Marvel.
Yeah.
They're trying to make DC flop over and over, and it's not going to happen. I mean, hopefully people give it a chance. This is all part of a bigger picture that James Gunn is developing, and it's only going to get better.
For sure.
It's like with the Peacemaker series. If you haven't seen the Peacemaker series, it's great. People watch that too. It's a little bit more brightly colored and colorful than other comic book movies or series, whatever. Um, Again, with a lot of curse words and a lot of stuff you don't normally see on comic book movies or whatever. But it's great too. James Gunn is building a good universe
Yeah.
for DC, and I'm excited for what's to come.
Mhm.
Any final thoughts on Supergirl you want to tell everybody on your end?
No.
No,
No.
just watch it, huh?
Yeah.
Watch the movie, enjoy it. We think it was great. Um, I'll definitely buy it on digital once it comes out. Um, as far as I'm concerned, James Gunn can do no wrong.
Mhm.
Oh, and then real quick before we end this, so yeah, there was a bunch of comparisons to Guardians of the Galaxy with this movie,
Mhm.
and I see it. I kind of see it, but it's all for the better. I mean, if you think about Guardians of the Galaxy, you were a baby when it came out, and you loved it.
Mhm.
I think that's one of the first movies I took you to go see, if not the first movie.
Yeah.
But I always go back to me going to a comic book store when I was a kid and seeing the comic books on the shelves. And I used to think, yeah, those comics are for nerds. Nobody knows who the fuck the Guardians of the Galaxy are. If it's not Wolverine, if it's not Gambit or the X Men or Punisher, or Spider Man, I'm not interested. And James Gunn gave those characters life. He made them all the better, and that's what's going to happen to the DC universe. I feel like.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is Rene Rodriguez with my son Ryan, talking about Supergirl once again,
Mhm.
and Ryan gave it a score of
8.
out of 10. I'm giving it between a 7.5 and an 8 out of 10. Not a perfect movie, but it's better than everybody says it is. It is great. So yeah, man, I can't repeat myself enough. Watch the movie, be a judge for yourself, and enjoy it.
Mhm.
Um, love and appreciate you guys for watching this. Peace out. Take it easy.